Oh hi! Today's episode of Game Life is another installment in our long-running series. Wow, they actually shipped that?
Wow, they actually shipped that?
Here at Wired.com, one of the things we're most known for is our annual Vaporware Awards, in which we celebrate those possibly imaginary products that get relentlessly hyped throughout the year, but then just fail to materialize. But some of them actually do make it out. In fact, just recently, two former pieces of Vaporware, the Phantom Lapboard, which is a keyboard-mouse combo that you can play while sitting on the couch, and Too Human, an Xbox 360 RPG, actually made it onto store shelves. In fact, Nate here is we had this clever idea. He's going to play Too Human using the Phantom Lapboard on the show today.
You can actually use a keyboard to play Too Human.
Then maybe we can't actually afford a fourth Game Life writer, Nate.
I'll try again.
Yeah, you'll try again. Just gotta know how to motivate these kids. I've been following the saga of Too Human for a long time now. I was a big fan of Silicon Knight's previous work, Eternal Darkness, on the GameCube, and I was really interested to see what their take on cybernetically enhanced Norse gods was gonna be like on the Xbox 360. And then they delayed it and delayed it and delayed it, but now it's finally out. And does it live up to the years of hype? Well, sort of. I have mixed feelings about Too Human. On the one hand, I appreciate the story, although I don't think there's enough of it. And I like what they're trying to do with the gameplay, although I think it needs a lot of tuning. In short, Too Human has more potential than it does delivery. Too Human reimagines the pantheon of Norse gods as a gang of warriors whose powers come not from magic, but from cybernetic enhancements. Through cybernetics, they fight to save the human race. You play as Baldur. He doesn't remember much of anything about the last few months or so, and you need to find out what happened between him and the rest of the gods. The gameplay is a blend of action and role-playing game. Now, it doesn't do either particularly well. You use the right analog stick to attack all the enemies that swarm around you, and there's a variety of different moves you can do. My favorite combo is to double tap the stick to juggle an enemy into the air, then leap up after him, and then press both sticks in his direction to do a fierce attack while he's immobile and caught in the air. All the role-playing game stuff kind of gets in the way of the combat, though. As you're playing, enemies drop all kinds of loot, like 6 or 7 different kinds of weapons, 6 or 7 different kinds of armor, and this happens with such regularity that you have to constantly stop fighting, open up the menu, and manually equip Baldur with all the new stuff that you keep finding. This menu is just a little sluggish to navigate. Now, this would be a minor problem if you only rarely had to go in, but since you're constantly opening it up to play dress up, it can become really frustrating. And so can the action, now that I think about it. At its best, Too Human's combat is fast and furious, but just as often you get pummeled and things become repetitive. Well, luckily it's impossible to fail. When Baldur dies, which happens a lot, you'll just get regenerated right in front of the spot where you got carried off to Valhalla in the first place with very little penalty. You can't lose. But what really hurts Too Human is that it ends long before its time. I was just coming to grips with the controls, I was getting really into the story, and I wanted to find out what was going to happen next. And the game ended. I was shocked when I saw the credits start to roll after only a little over 10 hours of gameplay. But if you liked your first trip through Too Human, there is a lot of replay value. You can start a brand new campaign with your same character, continue to level up, continue to collect new loot, and the monsters will scale up. You can also take your character to the online mode and play with a friend, which I tried out and I kind of liked. Silicon Knights says that Too Human is a trilogy. I say they should take the second and the third games they're planning and smash them together into one lengthy, awesome sequel. As for this first entry, I can't give it any more than a 6 out of 10. So, our second piece of no longer vaporware is the Phantom Lapboard. Well, actually, that's only half true. The real piece of vaporware was the Phantom video game console, which was going to download PC games to your TV and was never, ever going to exist. And people looked at it with a healthy degree of skepticism, but what people liked was the keyboard and mouse design that Phantom Entertainment had kind of come up with for their console, and we've got it right here. They released it.
So it's a wireless USB mouse and keyboard combo. You raise the keyboard up like that, and you mouse on the surface down here. It's designed for playing video games on the couch.
Right. Now, the mouse that we got did not actually work, right?
Yeah, I couldn't get it powered up at all, and I don't really like it anyway. The edges are kind of rigid and squarish, so it hurts to hold, and it's a bit short, too.
So as far as being a good gamer mouse, it probably wouldn't be.
Definitely not. I mean, normal, traditional gaming mice, they're rounder and smoother, so they just fit into the palm of your hands.
But you did try the keyboard with a separate mouse, essentially. And
yeah, definitely.
and you're a lefty, so...
I am a lefty,
yeah.
And the keyboard swivels, so it doesn't really matter which hand you're using.
And it turns all the way around, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can actually turn it completely around and use it right-handed.
And use it as a righty or a lefty. And, well, I guess the problem with this is because the keyboard is angled like this, it's kind of hard to use the standard WSAD controls. So you just have to remap your keys to, like, KL and colon or whatever that is over there.
Right, and that's if you're a left-hander. Like a right-hander, like me, is going to take this thing,
switch it around.
use it like this. And so now the WASD keys are going to be over here. It's easier to hit them because you're on this side of the hinge.
Right.
But if you were doing this, would want to actually change it. Right. So, I mean, as you know, Nate, you're a big PC gamer. You play a lot of the keyboard and mouse style games. What do you think? Is this a good setup?
I can't quite figure out why I'd want to use this. I mean, the entire time I was using it, I found myself just wanting to drop a hinge and mousing on the couch or on my lap or something, which obviously completely defeats the purpose of using this thing.
Right.
I just wish that they had kept the swivel design for lefties and righties and just made mouse trays that you can sort of slide out. But then that would have taken about 20 minutes instead of 6 years.
6 years, yeah. Well, I mean, but yeah, you could have just sort of taken a piece of wood and put the keyboard on it, put the mouse on it, and been fine. There might not have been all this need for...
You've got your keyboard, your mouse, your bag of Cheetos, your Mountain Dew, and you're all set.
Yeah. So, Phantom Lapboard doesn't really live up to the hype.
No, it doesn't.